Show. Good afternoon, live from Radio Row. The man, the myth, the legend joins me. Cam Heyward. I know, you're a humble guy.
I'm just Cam Heyward.
You're just Cam Heyward. You're just Cam Heyward. There's Cam Heyward that happens to have a brother that plays on the same team. Of course, talking about the Steelers. Season didn't quite end well.
Yeah, it didn't end like we wanted it to. But I think there was growth in a lot of areas. Individually for some guys, collectively for some people. But the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. And there's only one team happy with that.
Yeah, I think the Steelers would be very happy with that, considering they're the first to 6 Super Bowl titles. Be it for me to even know my Steeler history. And I know the fans here, not that they're listening or anything, but I know your brother just landed here as well.
Yes.
So good to know that he's hotel. Did you guys get the same room, hotel, kind of?
He's staying with a friend who's out here.
Oh, okay.
But I had just brought him out to the Pro Bowl last week, so
okay.
Nice. Just the more the merrier everywhere we go.
I know you had some fun with Mika out there.
Oh yeah, I like to give Mika a hard time, but Mika's my guy, and it's always really fun to catch up with them. Once you get to the offseason, it's like guys just appear. So this was like that. Last week was like the first opportunity to really see him.
I interviewed Mika Fitzpatrick when he was drafted by the Dolphins, and I thought to myself, he's going to play out of position. The Dolphins didn't know what they were doing, at least at that time, didn't know what they were going to do with Mika.
Yeah.
But he played the role that he needed to play. They asked him to do it, and he said, okay, he's just that kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, once Mika got drafted here, he started off exclusively as just a safety. And then we were like, Mink, you understand you are playing so many roles here, too. One thing you were mad about with the Dolphins doesn't sound so bad when it's with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think it worked out for everybody, but, I think Mink is definitely happy in the position he is.
I think so as well. It was very humbling to interview him and meet him for the first time. But also Terrell Edmonds, who also drafted but by the Steelers in his first go-around. This year, I see a lot of improvement in him. What improvement did you see from Terrell?
It's very hard at the safety position because there are so many different ways and so many different positions you might be put in. And I thought Terrell has just, each year he's gotten better and better through knowledge, understanding where you need to be. Some of that comes from, having your defensive coordinator now being Terrell Austin. I think Terrell has just felt very comfortable. And, I think him and Mick have really discovered a bond they had together. And then you add in a guy like Casey. All three of those guys can be interchangeable, and someone can be the dime backer now. So having those three really cements that secondary and puts you in a good position to get to cover a guy like Travis Kelce or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, those guys are going to the Super Bowl, which the Steelers would have been the obvious team to go in, at least the way I see it. I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Yes, sir.
We look at, my gosh, there's so much to cover, so much to talk about. I know you're on the schedule. But Brian Flores leaves, goes over to be Minnesota's defensive assistant, I guess, now defensive coordinator for the Vikings. What did he mean to you throughout this entire season? What did he bring to the defense?
I think he just brought a level of intelligence from a different set of eyes. He had coached in New England for a while. He had Miami really thriving on defense. And so I got to just pick his brain most of the time. And I think a lot of guys can attest to that, whether you were offense or defense. There were really some times where, Flo, how did you guys used to play? Flo, what did you guys look at? Look at a guy like, I would ask him about Vince Wilfork or Richard Seymour. Just ask him what they did differently. What was the thing that really stuck out with them? And I've just always just tried to be a sponge and listen to them about what they've done in the past.
Well, the past can indicate the future. Now there's a spot that's, I guess, open or vacant now that Brian Flores has left. Is there anyone on staff you maybe have learned a lot from that you could see in a similar direction from, or do you think maybe an outside?
You never know. I don't like to play general manager because usually I'm wrong.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, I think Mike T's always got a good feel for things. And now Brian Flores becomes under the Mike T train, or the Mike T tree. And I think Mike T's going to bring in somebody who's knowledgeable, who's very skilled and experienced at that. But we'll see what happens. I think it's an interesting room because you don't know who's going to be back in that room next year. But you would think they would handle that before they start drafting line.
Sure, absolutely. But last but not least, Mike Tomlin still over 500 this year. Not a lot of talk. He's not going anywhere. Steelers don't make changes like that. They went through many years losing seasons rather with Coach Cowher.
Right.
And I know that Coach Cowher was just so thankful to finally get that proverbial monkey off of his back, like a lot of other players. What would a Super Bowl win mean to you?
Personally, it cements you into a lot of different things. You're no longer looking at, oh man, if I'm going to get to the mountaintop. But collectively, that's 7. That's 7 Super Bowls, and no other team can say that. And when you get a type of bragging right like that puts you above the rest. And I've been fortunate to play with guys who've won Super Bowl. I'm fighting for mine, but I would just like to be on the same plateau or playing field as those guys.
You will. You will. A lot sooner than later. A lot sooner than later.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, exactly. Camp, thanks, man. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate you
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Say hi to your
sir.
family for me as well.
Hi, everybody. Cam Heyward here. Yeah, you should know I'm your family member. But thank you so much. Hope you guys were listening. Connor, make sure you stay out of trouble. Make sure you wash my clothes while I'm gone. Mom, love you so much. My wife, Allie, I know you're coming in right now. Excited to hang out with you. All the kids at home, Cal, Chloe, Kaya, I miss you. Can't wait to see you.
Well, you heard it. He got the last word. Can't Heyward with his old podcast.
Yes.
As well. So we got to throw that mention in there. So
Yes,
go check
not
out
just
Cam
football.
Heyward's. Yeah, not just football. You got everything else. But thanks again, Cam. Appreciate
Yes,
it,
sir.
man.
Appreciate
We will
you.
see you later on.
Yes, sir.
We'll be
Sounds
around.
good.
Thanks.